so full of fear where once was hope. Remember God still loves the world. Be still, my soul. Beneath the shadow of each storm, in all the sorrow and despair, remember God still loves the world. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Trust in your God. His perfect ways, His endless love. Be still and know He reigns above the earth. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Why are you downcast, oh my soul? So full of fear where once was hope. Remember God still loves the world. Be still, my soul. Beneath the shadow of each storm, in all the sorrow and despair, remember God still loves the world. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Trust in your God. His perfect ways, His endless love. Be still and know He reigns above the earth. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to St Cuthbert's Church, Fulwood in Preston in the northwest of England for our morning 8 a.m. prayers and devotional thoughts and reflections. Lovely to have you with us this morning. Do say hello if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Be great to get to know you and see who's checking in this morning. Let's have a little look. Good morning, Khosrow. Never know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Rachel, good morning. Daphne, maybe still in the sunny lakes, who knows? And Tom, Dillis, Corin, David, good morning. Anne, might even be on a canal barge, maybe not today. Mark, good morning. Eileen and Tanaz, how are you all doing this morning? Well, I suppose if you're football fans, you will be rejoicing in the success of the England football team managing to get into the knockout stage of the Euros. If you're watching from another country, you have no idea what I'm talking about, possibly. Anyway, poor old Scotland. We will spare a thought for them this morning too. Morning, Lynn. So this morning you're getting a rest from my guitar this morning. We're going to be looking at the continuing challenges and difficulties, deserts and trials that are in the Bible. This time we're moving to look at Moses. And if ever there was a character who characterizes the ups and downs of life, obviously one of the greats of the Bible is Moses. And, from Fresh Prince to disaster to ending up a shepherd in the desert. And that's where we'll pick up with Moses in a little bit. Before that, I want to play you a worship song. This time from Resound. I decided to give you a bit of professional treatment this morning for our prayers and reflections. It's a beautiful song. I'm not sure if it was played on Sunday, but I've been listening to it a bit. I'll not explain it much further, but I think it sets the scene for us in terms of the deserts, the mercy that we need, and the peace that we need to settle into as we come into our morning prayers this morning.
If the fields are parched and the trees are felled, will the rocks cry aloud on their own? If the birds are starved and the beasts are killed, will the bones in the dust lift a song? Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Forgive our broken ways. Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Renew the world you made. As the oceans rise and the wells run dry, do we care if disaster is near? If our children starve, will they cry to God? Will they curse us for closing our ears? Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Forgive our broken ways. Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Renew the world you made. Still a day will come when the Lord returns and the earth will be perfect again. No more greed or war, no more tooth and claw, for the wolf and the lamb will be friends. Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Forgive our broken ways. Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Renew the world you made. Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Forgive our broken ways. Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, Lord. Renew the world you made.
Well, beautiful song. I like it, and I hope that that blessed you as well this morning. A few more joining us. Morning, Dorothy, Helena, and Sue. Thanks for checking in this morning. Good to see you. We turn to our prayers. God, in the forgotten care of the forgotten, So Wednesday, 23rd of June, and we're exploring God's care for us. As I enter prayer now, I pause to be still, to breathe slowly, and to recenter my scattered senses upon the presence of God. Gracious Father, give me diligence to seek you and wisdom to find you today. May my ears hear your voice, my eyes see your goodness, and my tongue proclaim your name as I commit my life to pleasing you. Let's choose to rejoice in God's care for all his people today, joining with the ancient praise of all God's people in the words of Psalm 95. Come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God. We are the people he watches over, the flock under his care. So, we're reflecting on God's care for Moses and the people of Israel. Moses grew up a prince in Egypt. One day he came face to face with injustice the enslaved Israelites faced every day. He tried to make a difference, but it ended in disaster. And years later, Moses is in exile, a shepherd in the desert, and life for the Israelites is worse than ever.
According to thirdmill.org, 2770,
Excuse me.
where God provides a shepherd in the wilderness named Joshua.
So my pronunciation of exile sounds a bit like you-know-who. Apologies for that. So Moses is in, and he's now a shepherd in the desert. And life for the Israelites is worse than ever. The Israelites groaned in their slavery, it says in Exodus 2, 23 and 3-4. And they cried out, and their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within the bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. The lives of the Israelites were impossibly hard. In their trouble they groaned and cried out, and God responded in 4 ways. God heard, God remembered his covenant and promise, God saw, and God was concerned. The Hebrew word means simply, God knew. God called Moses because he cared for his people and because he cared for Moses. And it all began when Moses became curious about a bush. Like the Israelite slaves, God hears me. He hears us. God remembers me. He sees me. God knows. God knows my situation. God knows my pain. God knows all the worries which keep me awake at night. And God knows what to do. So are we facing the impossible this morning? Anything in a situation which seems like we can't get through it? Have I lost a sense of purpose which I once had? Do I feel as though God has forgotten me and left me to wander in the desert. Lord, hear my cry. Remember me. See me. Know me. Let me hear your voice calling my name once again. The story of Moses has got to be a real comfort to us in many ways, hasn't it? In that life can be very good and go very well. Life can take a turn. Our behaviour can also go up and down. We all make mistakes. We face dark times. And as the theme of our week probably echoes out from Sunday, as I said it yesterday, that we lack nothing in God, for he is our shepherd. And we might be beginning this week to gain some comfort from that if you've been following along. But we might also know people close to us, in our family, in our neighbourhood, where they're far away from God and seem lost. They're in some of those dark times when things have not gone wrong. Not gone right, and can't look back on the positives. So let's bring those people to mind. Let's bring someone to mind who seems lost right now. I pray for someone I know who seems lost right now. Lord, would you show them something to make them curious? As we go back to the passage, open our ears to hear your word, Lord, and our hearts to yield to your will once again. Exodus 2:23, verse 4. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out, and their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. So God looked out on the Israelites and was concerned about them. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. 40 years earlier, Moses had seen the terrible injustice suffered by his own people. He had rushed in to try and help, and he'd tried to do it on his own, and he had not been ready. Only now Moses sees the angel of the Lord, the invisible God, appearing to him in the flames of a burning bush, and Moses finds that his people are not forgotten. He is not forgotten. But God's timing was not what Moses had expected. In many ways, that's one of the hardest things for us to cope with in life, isn't it? That God's timing is not necessarily our timing. And the vast expanse of time that sometimes takes place between generations for God's will to work through and for his perfect timing to take place is all too transparent in the Bible. Sometimes things take years, if not generations. But God knows. He knows us. We can rest assured in that. We need to yield to his perfect timing. Lord, I yield to your timing. I often rush in, thinking that I can save the world or even just make a useful difference on my own. Lord, here I am. Take me, change me, use me, send me. Will we do that one again? Can we really say this morning? Just want you to take a minute. Let this just wash over you. Lord, I yield to your timing. I often rush in, thinking that I can save the world or even just make a useful difference on my own. Lord, here I am. Take me, change me, use me, send me. And now, as I prepare to take this time of prayer into the coming day, the Lord who loves me reminds me in Hebrews 1. By faith, Moses preserved because he saw him who is invisible. Father, help me to live this day to the full, being true to you in every way. Jesus, help me give myself away to others, being kind to everyone I meet. Spirit, help me to love the lost, proclaiming Christ in all I do and say. Amen. Oops, sorry about that. Well, there we go. Prayer's done. Take me, send me, use me. A motto for today. I hope your day goes well. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to lead us through prayers once more and reflection. I hope you have a super day ahead. God bless.